episode where everyone wins. Episode 69.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
If you do it right, everybody wins.
Why would you do it wrong?
Well, sadly, this episode is also about nobody really winning.
Oh.
Juxtaposition!
Whoa.
Did I use that word right?
Not really, but it's fine.
Okay. Can you even spell it?
Juxtaposition.
69, position.
Right?
What?
Oh, I see what. Oh, you're right.
I've been home for too long.
Yeah.
I'm going insane.
Isn't it time for you to go back to work?
Soon.
Yeah.
So our last podcast, episode 68,
Yeah.
we had told everyone that we were under quarantine for 5 hours.
Yep.
A lot changes in 2 weeks.
So we just came out of quarantine.
Yeah.
Because you got sent into quarantine.
Yes.
After exhibiting symptoms of a cold.
Yes. So to make a long story short, and to reiterate sort of what we talked about last time, I got a cold when I was in Maui.
I think I may need a kidney transplant.
Shit.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And when I came back to Calgary, it turned into a dry cough.
Yeah.
Alberta Health Services, who I work for, changed their rules and said anybody with any cold symptoms needs to go home.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
So they sent you packing.
They sent me packing. I did the online survey for COVID, and they said, you need to call 811 right away. They said, holy crap, and you traveled, you need to do a COVID test.
Right.
They shut me down, sent me home.
Which made me shut down and
So I was
extra
on
home.
Exactly. So we were on definite isolation. I had to get a COVID test.
Yep.
Which was kind of neat, but not neat.
It's like you were Cleopatra and they're like pulling your brains out of your nose in preparation for embalming.
So what they did was after I called 811, they said, expect a call in the next 3 days. And if you don't call back, they called me in 4, I think. And then I got my test done in another 4 or 5 days, and I got my results back in 2. And the reason why they called me back in 2 was because they are in desperate need for Alberta Health Services
Obviously.
staff to come back.
Yeah.
They sent me to a drive-through secret location. And what they do is they have these giant, very, very long Q-tips.
How long is that?
Oh gosh, 8 inches, maybe 10, 12, 19.
Wow.
Very long. More than 6.
Yeah.
6 inches doesn't impress me really anymore.
Wow.
Because, I don't really know what 6 inches is because I get lied to all the time.
Who does?
Exactly. So they put that up my nose, and it actually goes so far in that it makes my eyes water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made my eyes water. The nurse was like, well, if your eyes don't water, we know we haven't done it right. So I was like, okay, cool. And then she said, you must go home. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go home. You are not allowed to leave your house ever until we say you can.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was negative, which is great. But after a lot of running around with OH&S and my boss.
Occupational health and safety.
Thank you. They said, until you are symptom free, you cannot come back to work.
Right.
Which surprised me at first. And then I realized that if I end up giving somebody else my cold, then that means that they have to go home.
Right.
And I could spread my cold to like 3 or 4 other people.
And then like LOreal, it's like, and you tell 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
When I first tried Fabergé Organic shampoo with pure wheat germ oil and honey, it was so good I told 2 friends about it. And they told 2 friends. And so on, and so on, and so on.
That's the COVID mantra, is LOreal.
Is it L'Oreal?
I think so.
Why would you know that? And
I imprinted easily on advertising in the 70s.
apparently. I mean, I don't judge. It's just...
I was just enamored by all these
pretty girls.
blonde pretty girls that just kept multiplying. I'm like, this doesn't sound so bad.
I'm cool with it. But when you multiply like a virus, it's not so good.
And so on, and so on.
And so on.
Yeah.
So if I end up coming back to work, you gain 1 worker, but you could lose 5 more.
Right.
So yesterday, being Friday,
Yeah.
was my first day that I haven't coughed.
Yeah.
there was a few days where I coughed so hard that I almost...
Things happened.
Yeah, I wanted to die and almost did. Mm-hmm. So the plan is to go back to work on Tuesday.
Nice.
I have been told that things have been ramped up at the hospitals by quite a bit.
Just a little segue here. It certainly is happening here. I don't know if it's happening other places in the world, but at 7 p.m. local time, people are going out on their balconies or going out on the front step and applauding the healthcare workers, frontline workers that are helping with this crisis. And I think that that's really fucking cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So 7 p.m. Check it out. I think that you'll see it. Certainly it's happening here in Calgary now. I saw one in Vancouver, so it's happening there. And I think it's something that you should start because this is a thing.
Yep. So what they're doing now at the hospitals is they're checking ID badges. They are checking everyone's temperatures, apparently, when they come in. They don't want visitors that aren't supposed to be there. Yeah. And only people who are supposed to be there are supposed to be there, basically. So I have to be prepared to show up. I won't have my ID badge because that's at my office. Yeah. And I'll get a temperature check every time I go to work. Wow. And I also have to be prepared to not go to my usual job.
Wow.
I am now on
you might be repurposed.
Yeah, I am now on a list of employees that might have to go work at the 811 center or, for all I know, a emergency tent somewhere in the middle of nowhere if shit goes sideways.
Jesus.
And I don't know why I'm on the list. Maybe it's because I have a vehicle and can
Could also be that you're
get somewhere.
Really good at your job. And they need people that can help.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I'll be living in the basement. You can just have the upstairs.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was actually thinking about this today. If I'd quit my Alberta Health Services job and became a full-time artist, I would be so screwed right now.
Why?
Well, because I wouldn't have work for sure.
Yeah, but you just make work.
But all the theaters are shut down. All if I was a waiter part-time, all the restaurants are shut down. But on the other hand, you're like, oh, I have a job. Oh, I have to go to the hospital where it's a total disaster. You know what I mean? Like, man.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself, because I'm fine. My work seems to be chugging along the way it normally does. And I'm just like, great. You're going to the hospital and coming back here every day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What I was thinking of, we should have one of those like in a spaceship where you come
like
in.
ET. Oh yeah, like a decontamination room.
Decontamination totally. Thing. We should build a little vestibule in our house where it's like boop boop.
Oh, boop. And I show up with like a broom and I'm like Brillo patting you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah. Or it's like ET and there's like the series of tents they have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not even front line.
Yeah.
So this is serious. This is why you need to wash your hands all the time and wear your masks properly. Right now. Wear your gloves properly. Stay at home if you don't go out. Don't visit your friends and family and have parties and dinner, birthday parties and shit. You need to you can't just take care of you. You have to take care of everybody.
You know what you could do?
What?
You could do what Bad Narwhal and I are doing. Mm-hmm. And we are playing Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, you are.
Now it's time for Dropbear and Panda's Reviews.
And I'm hoping that Keegan across the pond will jump in as well so we can, go on the 7 seas.
What is his handle?
I don't know that he has one.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You got to work on that, dude.
Oh, no, wait a minute. He's got one on, what's the new thing that I'm on these days?
Wow. I'm glad we planned this one ahead.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, so Neebs does a Sea of Thieves, and it's like 19 episodes, and I haven't watched all of them, but it looks great. Mm-hmm. I Googled it.
Discord. That's what we're on.
Discord? Yeah. I Googled it the other day, and it said something like Sea of Thieves was one of the best online game things that you can do with your friends, like ever. Yeah. Like top 3 or top 5 or something
so
like that.
I'm giving it 5 out of 5 drop errors so far. Like, it's been great.
It looks way too complicated for me.
It's kind of cool. You like lower the masts and you redirect them, and then you got to drop the anchor, and then like you got to patch your ship, and then then Kieran Bad Narwhal got eaten by a kraken the other day. I don't know. It's super fun. I like it.
Treasure that you go find, and you get these books, and then it's interesting because you follow these treasure maps, and you actually have to have your character like walk as many steps as the treasure maps. Like it's really, really neat. And you battle like skeletons and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, really, really cool idea. Just because you are apart from somebody doesn't mean that social distance doesn't mean
it's physical distance.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's been sort of a big thing lately is, let's just get rid of the social distancing thing and let's just call it what it is, physical distance.
I posted on my Facebook yesterday asking, is it bad that I'm not missing people as much as I'm missing sitting in a pub?
Oh.
Because as soon as I got off isolation,
that's the one thing you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have anybody I couldn't visit anybody anyway because of the physical distancing and social distancing. But I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I can just go have a bit. No. No. So we went to the drugstore and bought some soap or something.
Yeah. It's 6 feet away from everybody else in line, which was kind of cool. I mean, and then you got hit on.
I did.
Then drunk guy was hitting on you.
Was he drunk?
I don't know if he was drunk. He was just very amorous.
Maybe he was excited because he was out and about. And of course, I looked like garbage because I had just gotten off isolation for 14 days. So one hand, I'm like, I still got it. On the other hand, I'm like, dude needs to up his level or something.
He was just like, what did he said something funny about.
He complimented your shoes.
Yeah, he started with my shoes, then went to your hair, and then the rest of you. And then there was a fight that he was like, I fight you for, but something or other.
He said, if he wasn't your man, I would be all over this. Or something like that.
That's awesome.
So I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And then I got uncomfortable because that's how I get.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is why I social distance most of my life.
Right. Anyway, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah. Jeb Fink, he's got a place called Jeb's Joint, and he actually brought us a fuck ton of food last week.
He did. Kudos to you, Jeb. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so I called him up. I'm just like, hey, Jeb, I need some pasta, yo. He's like, I got a whole bunch. And he basically went and through Crossroads Market, he did a bunch of shopping for us, which was amazing. So we got vegetables, we got cheese and pasta and stuff. And then on his way home, he swung by and dropped it off. He dropped it off on the thing. And so I just want to give a shout out to him. That's kick ass.
Yeah, that was really amazing. The fact that not only did he just be like, yeah, I'll gather my own stuff for you, but he actually did a shop around Crossroads, which is
and
really
apparently, so they're still open, but I don't think you can go in. So basically, you can order ahead of time, and they'll bring it out to you.
So good.
So you stay in your car, which is fucking great. We're figuring out ways to make this work. I guess is. How I'm seeing this. I mean, we've had an endless amount of friends and family be like, whatever you guys need, let us know.
Yeah, it's been really great.
Bring it by.
We even went to the liquor store, Kensington Wine Market, who, if you place an order over $50, they will deliver it to you.
That's right.
Which is fantastic. We went there to pick up some necessities.
Yeah.
And they had a sign on the door that said no more than 5 customers in the store. And please use the hand sanitizer when you come in. Yeah. And so we came in, and I think there was only one other customer in the store when we were in there. Yeah. And they said, hello, let us know if you need anything. And I think I yelled out, we promise not to touch all the things. And they said that, we appreciate that. Yeah. And I think somebody said or maybe it was you, I can't remember, but somebody said this is the new normal now. And I sort of kind of yelled out, this is how it should have always been.
Stop touching. Stop putting your sticky fingers on everything.
Exactly. This is how behavior really, except for, pubs and crowded markets and stuff. If everybody washed their hands the way they were supposed to, and, there's certain things that we should have always done all the time.
Yeah.
DVP News right now.
There was a guy I want to say it was the UK. I didn't really pay that much attention to the news.
No surprise.
But wow. But this guy videotaped himself, wow, is that even still a thing? He videoed himself
He's so old.
licking products down an aisle of a convenience store.
What?
Yeah. And he ended up getting arrested for terrorism threat.
Good.
So he thought he'd be like funny and hilarious.
I just want to get likes on my TikTok channel.
And he's fucked.
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck that
Can you
guy.
believe that?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I watch him get COVID and end up being thrown in the ICU or something as well.
Yeah.
Just
Crazy.
because. What an ass.
Yeah.
That's disgusting anyway.
Yeah.
Whether there's a pandemic going on or not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
Oh.
So back to your point, this is how we should be doing stuff anyways. I'm now probably forever, rest of my life, going to be carrying hand sanitizer everywhere I go.
Don't touch something you don't want, right?
Yeah.
It's like people will pick something up, look at it and put it back, pick up something, move things around. You're like, and this is something that I said to you before is as soon as we walk out the door to go to the drugstore, I'm negative. But as soon as I walk out, I assume that I'm positive because I can get it from anything. And I'm not trying to freak people out. I don't want people to be unnecessarily terrified of going out. But you have to take care of yourself and assume nobody else is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. The number of people I've watched wearing masks on their chin, which shocks me. I see them walking down the street with a mask sitting on their chin, which I guess are going to wait until they get to somebody and then put the mask up. But it's just.
Yeah, but even if you breathe or sneeze, those droplets are going to be.
I know.
And I mean, it's depending on what they're wearing, it's probably difficult to breathe through those things for a long period of time, right? If you're walking down the street or something like that. But
I know we had talked about this before that. It always astounded me when I would see, and honestly, before this time, it was always Asian people wearing masks. I'm just like, why are they wearing masks? Are they worried about pollution or stuff like that? But I had found out later on that it's, if they feel unwell, they put a mask over their face to protect other people around them.
it's so crowded there too, right?
Right. And I'm just like, oh, that's fucking great. Because that's really all those masks are good for. They're not going to stop the virus from getting in. It's not one of those N92 masks or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just,
Because they're not dicks.
So it's to protect other people.
Here's another note that I wanna let people know about.
Do it.
When you're washing your hands after going to the washroom,
Yeah. Sing happy birthday.
you not only
Twice.
do you want to wash your hands using 20 seconds, but you also want to use paper towel to turn off the sinks. And that's one of the reasons why sinks like no touch sinks are great, the automatic ones. But if you're turning on the sink with your dirty hand, washing your hands for 20 seconds, and then you turn off the sink, that sink that you would touch with your dirty hand to begin with is dirtying your clean hand because you had contaminated it after you went to the washroom, right?
Yeah.
So you have to use the paper towel to dry your hands and then turn off the sink. So you are wasting a bit of water, but at least you're not. And then you have to use the paper towel to open up the door.
Wow.
Assume everything is dirty and contaminated all the time. And that's what healthcare workers do. And that's how they don't get sick, even though they work at the hospital all the fucking time around dirty people and sick people and whatever.
Even before this whole thing happened, I prefer restaurants that have a waste paper bin beside the door.
That's exactly why they do.
I know.
That is exactly why they do.
I noticed that well before this whole thing happened, and I prefer that because I will always bring my paper towel over to the door, use it to open the door, throw out my paper towel. And I notice when that's not there. And I'm like, fuck.
There's a washroom that I use on occasion at the Foothills Hospital that the waste paper basket isn't there, but there is a handicap button that I just hit with my hip. And then I just use that to leave.
Nice. Now you got hip on a COVID hip.
So let's talk about how the U.S. wanted to put military along our border.
Right.
Because it's kind of funny in a weird way.
Okay. And again, we're not reporters.
No.
I only know what I read. The headline, bad Dropbear. I know. But yeah, they're thinking about stationing the U.S. Army at our border. Now, is that to keep their people in? I can only imagine. Because it certainly isn't to keep us out, because there's no Canadian I know that wants to leave, socialized medicine, free healthcare, and, a sane system and go down to there.
Well, last I heard yesterday, which was Friday, was America, the U.S., had over 100,000 cases.
Aye.
I don't think any Canadian in their right mind would want to illegally emigrate to the U.S. Like, I don't think America has to worry about getting infected Canadians coming down to the States.
Nope.
And I can't
certainly not to have an army there.
No, and I can't see this American government thinking that they're going to protect Canada by keeping their Americans out.
Yeah.
But I'm not reporters, but I found that very, very strange.
Oh, it's bizarre. Well, and I think our response was a polite "fuck you." Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a very strange world, and I love my American friends, and I think we are all watching the U.S. news and the numbers in the U.S. with despair. Honestly, I think it's really, really sad.
I was looking at there's some really cool news about the social isolation practices that they did in 1918 during that outbreak, which lasted for 2 years, like that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And how some states adopted certain models of social isolation. Wow. Social isolation.
You're doing great.
Wow. Social isolation back then, and how when they applied it, it worked. When they didn't apply it, it didn't work, and it caused untold number of deaths and stuff. Anyway, so it's yeah. So it's a big country down there. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's way more densely populated than Canada is. We have a lot more open spaces.
And I would like to know, numbers is one thing, like how many people are infected and how many people have died. Percentages is something else that would be a lot more helpful. Having 100,000 people infected in the U.S. is huge because, China has a much bigger population than the U.S. does. What percentage of that versus what percentage for other countries, that kind of thing would put it a little bit more in perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I love you, Italy. Italy got its butt kicked.
Yeah.
And I think the percentage of people being sick was a lot higher as well. Italy is a tiny country. It is a tiny, tiny country with so many people, right? So it kind of makes sense that it spread a lot easier, but I don't know what the population density of China is. But China also segregated an entire province as well. So there's a lot of different factors that are in play here. Like apparently Germany has a lot of cases, but they're doing really well compared to Italy and other countries that surround it. So there's a lot of factors in there that
I don't want to spend an entire episode talking about this.
My ending of that was blah.
This whole thing, because there's certainly other stuff happening in the world.
You wouldn't know it, though.
No, it's true.
What's new with you? I moved from the sofa to the chair.
Nice. But
yep.
I think this will be a thing that we get through and look back on and be like, learn some stuff.
They closed our parks.
Yeah. The national parks are closed. Provincial parks are closed. You can't drive into the mountains. You shouldn't be driving anywhere.
Well, and like everybody and their dog last weekend drove into the parks thinking that they would get some fresh air and be away from people, but everybody had that idea.
Yeah.
So now Alberta's like, well, you
nope.
can't do that now because you did it last weekend. So it's I don't want everyone to be terrified, but you got to follow some pretty simple rules. Yeah. It's hard because we are social animals.
Yeah.
But you have to fucking do it.
Yeah. Well, and so my plan later today is I'm going to put on a mask, I'm going to put on some gloves. I will go do some quick staple shopping for stuff that we need food-wise for the next week.
Oh, you're not just picking up some staples.
Yes. To staple masks onto people's faces that won't wear them properly.
Bam!
Snack, snack, snack.
That got snack?
Yeah,
That got dark.
That's
but
what staples sound like when you put them into people's faces.
Really?
Snack, snack,
I
snack.
thought it sounded like, ah!
Snack, snack, snack. It was big.
Pointed that way.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so, you know.
Get some pet food and stuff.
Do your part. You do have to go buy food and shit, so do that. But don't do anything else.
Be smart about it.
Yeah. Play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Watch Netflix. One person on our friends list finished Netflix, apparently.
Pretty impressive.
Which I thought was pretty great.
I got you obsessed with Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah. And I came really late to that party. I watched one season years ago, and then I just put it down because I got busy with other things. Mm-hmm. But oh my God, it's delightful.
What kind of yogurt?
I was saving that for after my run, David.
Oh my God, I guess I was saving it for during your run then.
Oh, you're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
I love it so much.
Yeah, and Dan Levy is a fucking national treasure.
He really is.
Yeah.
Totally.
Love that guy.
I know.
He posted the Jezebels on Twitter doing 9 Inch Nails. An unseen episode.
There are so many gems on the internet that I have not shown you that we will have to show you when we're done.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're amazing.
Yeah.
The one other thing I wanted to note before we move off is I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How did we spend our morning?
Oh my God. Photo shoot.
Yes.
So we had a photo shoot, and it's a friend of Panda's.
Yes.
Who's quite an amazing photographer.
She is great.
And she said, hey, I'm doing this thing called porch portraits, and wondered if you guys would be interested in being one of my subjects.
And these aren't just normal porch portraits.
Oh God, no. So our theme was the apocalypse, post-apocalyptic suburbia.
Yes. So you can find her, first of all, Lisa Arsenault, LisaArsenault. We will put a link of her website.
Oh, great.
Up on our stuff.
Yeah.
She is a lovely woman, and she's absolutely breathtaking and an absolute delight.
Yeah. So we ended up doing up our. Of course, I got the apocalypse mohawk. You had your hair all JFL'd.
Oh my gosh! It's still.
We had a smoke machine.
Oh man.
We had axes and chainsaws and road flares.
Yeah.
And what else did we have?
All the things.
Yeah.
It was great. And I have seen
a baseball bat.
Yeah, I have seen people do some porch pictures around town. But the fact that we were all fucking done up to the nines was great.
Yeah.
A couple people walked by our house and they were like, what the fuck? We're like, hello, just a regular Saturday. And they were like,
as the smoke is billowing in front of
we're holding this axe.
The flash is going off and stuff. It was great.
It was a lot of fun. And I was panicking a little bit because I had told Lisa that I had gotten rid of a lot of my super fun clothes actually pretty recently.
BBC.
But I think we pulled it off really well.
Yeah, a lot of boob.
Well, it's apocalypse. Come on. It's what I have.
Yeah, that's what you need in the apocalypse. Mohawks and boobs.
Well, flotation devices if there's water.
That's right.
And
I get it.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yep.
Anyways,
it was super great. She respected the physical distancing.
Yeah.
But like, you know, she was down on the sidewalk for the
In the
angles.
snow.
It was great. People with dogs were like, what? There's people with kids across the street that watched this for probably about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. It was good. It's a really fun way to get your family together for some photos during the COVID pandemic and make it a lot of fun. And
then we'll send out cards every year. Maybe we send out COVID cards.
Wow.
Yeah, or that's going to be our Christmas.
I was going to say that, you know, it's a way to have fun without being disrespectful. And then you're like, COVID cards.
Like, COVID trading cards. I'm on that. Need it, got it, need it. Oh.
Trademark.
Don't trade them, though.
No, you can't trade them.
Or they come with like a one of those hand wipes. Post-apocalyptic trading cards extravaganza.
Well, we don't have those yet, but we do have Cova Diaries.
We do. And so it's, you know, you make the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 2 videos of you dealing with isolation.
All the things I'll never see, all the things I'll never be, all there is that's left for me is here in this eternity of isolation, the cavalcade.
Yeah.
And there's one or two of me coming up.
Yeah.
Then we've got an idea for a quickie.
For episode 69, a quickie.
Yeah, bam.
Hi, parents.
Anyway, yeah, what else?
And we have Home for the Apocalypse coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the idea was to do a documentary of how people are dealing with social isolation.
Yeah.
Specifically how it's changed the dynamic of the world a little bit, and we've invited some other people to participate.
Yeah, and that's not really coming up like soon.
It's a long-term project.
This is a project that we plan on doing.
Yeah.
We have an idea of the shape of it and everything, and we're actually pretty excited about it. We have no idea how it's going to go, but we have a big idea of how it's going to go. Yeah. It also depends on what other people can bring to the table too. So, and we have to do it from our own home, and we can't go out.
Right. So, which is kind of the part of the fun. Right?
Yeah.
Like, part of the fun that I'm finding with, so I did a thing with Loose Moose last night. It's not necessarily Loose Moose sanctioned, but we're doing like this game show spin. Other people are doing other things from the comfort of their home. I mean, I like the creativity that's coming out.
Yeah.
You know, because what else are you going to do? Create something, like put something positive out into the world.
It is hard to do as well. Staying at home by yourself. I know that the one thing I miss is at our old place, we had a really great backyard.
Yeah.
And I know it's not full of greenery and that kind of thing. But the one thing I found difficult was I couldn't even really sit in our backyard because it's covered in snow and it's melting and it's wet and it's gross.
Covered in birdseed.
Like legit. If people have tiny apartments, you know, you've got all these things. You've got the internet, you've got books, you've got like movies, you've got TV. But honestly, in the end, when you are okay staying at home when it's your choice, that's great. But when you're told that you cannot leave,
that's tough.
That's when it makes it really difficult.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing to think about.
Yep.
Yeah.
It could be that you just decided to nap for a month. Like you could do that.
You could.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
Or you can create stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how we're dealing with it. And I'm going to put this out here just because I was talking with somebody who also has a podcast. I'm just like, you really need to shamelessly plug your podcast.
Yep.
Especially, you know, monetizing it, because we spend a lot of time and effort creating this stuff. And it's, you know, it's not for profit, but we would like to profit. So I would suggest that everybody go to patreon.com/Dropbear and Panda and become a patron. It's like you could do it for $1 a month. Imagine if 1 million people like paid $1 a month to Dropbear and Panda to produce this stuff. We'd produce a whole lot more. I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know what else is great about podcasts?
What?
100% virus free.
Whoa, it's totally 100%.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
Yep.
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 You guaranteed will not get COVID from this podcast.
Exactly.
100% guarantee.
That's one thing that we can guarantee.
Yeah.
You know what I think this podcast needs?
What?
A sock jingle.
Let's do it.
Time for another Dropbear and Panda Friday Sock Company collaboration.
Oh, good sir.
Bacon and eggs, polka dots and stripes, ethical Canadian socks are nice. Bangers and mash, cricket and blimps. Dropbear and Panda are the fresh sock pimps. Podcast jingles, chap hops the illest. Pith helmet locked and trousers are the twillest. Friday Sock Company, Her Majesty's finest. No field toe seam needle counts the highest. I will be requiring an additional microphone.
Oh, indeed, sir.
This one's been damaged by gravitational pull.
Oh, I see. From dropping it, sir. Well played, sir. Well played.
What I do think is funny is yesterday we were about to go to bed, and I think you got a message from somebody saying like, hey, the Space Force
unauthorized
Space Force theme song just popped up on my what to listen to on Spotify, and I thought that was pretty freaking funny.
I know. It's awesome.
That was great.
Yeah. So you could always do that too. So support the Friday Sock Company because they're kick ass. Support Dropbear and Panda because we're kick ass. Support Rob Mitchelson because he's kick ass. Anybody else?
It's time
For Dropbear and Panda to save the world.
Support everyone because we're all like in this together.
Yeah, let's do it. 7:00. Don't forget. Set your alarms. Go out and, give some applause to the frontline workers and the healthcare workers.
And you know what? We appreciate applause. And I feel really guilty for not being at work because I bet you there's some healthcare workers that I work with listening to this being like, fuck you. You haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
You came to work for 4 days and got sent home.
Yeah.
Respect is a huge thing. I know that people are frustrated with not getting their test results back faster. They're frustrated because they can't get into the phone lines, but they are overworked and a lot of the times underappreciated, and everyone is doing the best they can. The guys at the liquor store are doing the best they can. The people at the grocery stores are doing the best they can.
Safeway. I want to give a quick shout out to Safeway. They increased their employees' rate of pay for danger pay.
So, clapping hands is great.
Yeah.
But let's, get some really good understanding together that there are people out there who are working, and it's not necessarily because they want to as well. It's because they have to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure they would rather not be scared of getting COVID from other people too. It's thank them.
Yeah.
And people who get thanks, like, take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
People
are really thankful that you are working, and everyone is stressed out, and people are going to take their frustrations out on each other. And it's not necessarily a personal thing, but we're all in this together, guys. And that's what I want to say.
Here to the yeah.
That's good.
Not in a very good way. I mean, I've been alone for... That's all I have to say.
I also want to give a shout out to Emory Courts, who holds a nightly concert at 9 p.m. Every night he's been playing songs for people and bringing them up. Helping out emotionally, which I think is really cool, creating connection.
He is the gentleman who did our intro and outro music.
That's right.
Yep.
And you can also leave a tip for him on his website or however he does it, however that's happening. But you can leave like a $5, $10 tip or something.
Yeah.
To help an artist.
Is there anything you wanted to touch base on? Because you said there's other news, and I'm like, is there though?
I can't think of anything right now.
Wow.
It was like, I just, I think that, 7:00, show appreciation. It's a reminder, 7:00 to clap, stand on your porch or balcony or whatever, and give some applause to the people who are working hard to keep us safe. Support local businesses in any way that you can. Obviously, support a local artist that maybe doesn't have any other source of income and is just doing what they can to bring a little light into the world. Help them out. Send up a couple bucks.
I am going to give a note to all the very rich celebrities who clearly listen to our podcast.
Yes.
When you tell all us poor people to keep our chin up, that's great. when you do it from your very obvious mansion amidst your gold coins and fancy marble bathtubs, saying that we're all the same.
Yeah.
Don't do that part.
Yeah, maybe leave that part out.
Yeah, maybe leave all the riches.
Like go sit in a closet. Maybe like just dumb it down a little for us.
Yeah, Madonna's video was atrocious.
I haven't watched it. Just refused.
Yeah, I want to say that Drake had one, and I didn't click on it, but Drake had one where he said that he was in isolation. He's like, "Oh man, this is how I'm going to be spending my time in his personalized basketball court in his house."
Wow.
And there's other people who like can't eat because they have no money for food,
right.
And all these celebrities are like, "Oh, this is the one equalizer. We're all at home," and your house is like 42,000 square feet of.
Yeah. The one that I liked was Ryan Reynolds. He had one that
was actually legit.
Well, yeah, and it was funny because he's just like, obviously the stars are going to save the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. This has been another exciting episode of Dropbear and Panda Save the World.
Virus free.
100% virus free. Like we give that guarantee.
Guaranteed.
Virus free.
Episode 69.
Yeah.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, the Friday Sock Company.
This podcast was recorded at the Dropbear and Panda Kensington studio.
Special thanks to Emory Courts for the kick-ass theme music.
Don't forget to subscribe.
It's Dropbear and Panda, yeah. Dropbear and Panda, yeah. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you, Panda. Coming at you like a locomotive on a motherfucking bender. Yeah, I tell my culture now, watch out, follow me. Yeah, with my doggies, yeah, you be checking on the flow, yo. Checking flow, but you was quick, you can't pick my medical ranges, angles, tangles. You get tangled, twisted side effects, child should be. Can't compete with the owls that devour. Yeah, with the owls that devour, yeah, it's a Dropbear and Panda, coming at you right now. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you right now. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you right now. It's like a locomotive filled with autonomous chopper. Dropbear and Panda, coming at you right now. It's like a locomotive filled with autonomous chopper. Dropbear and Panda.